be honest, I'm sure all of you love your own businesses, but you forget that you're supposed to let it run without you. Okay? So this is the topics I'll be covering for today. Quick introduction. About how I started. I'll be talking about the law of focus. How when I focus certain things, it allows me to grow faster. I'll be sharing some strategies on revenue multipliers that I use. Okay, and then how everything changed on 22nd August 2015. Okay, I'll share with you a certain kind of systemization or very simple, practical way of doing it. Okay, I'll share you how I read books and then I just threw them away and just use something that's more practical. Okay, and then I'll talk a little bit about how every business owner should seek to obsolete yourself from the business, and then of course Q&A. Okay, I think maybe there might be more value eventually from Q&A as after I share all this stuff. Okay? Yes. Oh yeah, it's fine. Later on. Okay, so one quick question. Can I have a raise of hands on those of you who are business owners, entrepreneurs? Okay, I just want to see. Okay, majority, 70%. And can I have a show of hands on those of you who at least gross $1 million a year? Okay, so some of you, that's it. Okay. So this is just to give me some perspective, okay, of the audience and what might more, what should I focus more on? Okay, so this is my company, Success Advantage. Okay, I think we have 20 plus people right now. Okay, generally, most of them are pretty young. I think I'm almost the oldest there. Okay, and they're really, wacky bunch. For me, culture is so important. That's why since I started, when I started hiring my first person in 2008, we had all this kind of, if you're friends with me on Facebook, we do monthly lunches, we have outings, we have yearly retreats, things like that. Because to me, culture and having the company bond together is very, very important. And of course, because of that, there's stronger loyalty, right? So just a little bit of what we do. We are a pure e-commerce play. Okay, we sell stuff online. Okay, mainly two kind of things. First, information training products. Okay, in the verticals or niches of personal development, health and business opportunity. So these are information products, meaning if a person buys it online, they use a credit card to buy it, and they can download the product in the form of a PDF ebook, audio training or video training. Okay, majority of our customers come from the US, 70%. Then the rest from Europe, Canada, very little from Asia. Quite a fair bit from Australia. Okay, so we mainly focus online, global market, right? And the second thing that we sell right now, since 2 years ago, is health supplements. Okay, we manufacture them in the US. It's our own brand. Some of them are OEM, and we just label it. Some of them are custom formulas. And then if you follow me on Facebook, you know that it's very easy. You can actually just send a supplement to a lab, they can reverse engineer, and you can create your own supplement. End of the day, it's all about the marketing. Okay, let me give you one example. I used to eat some supplement from New Skin. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. New Skin is an MLM. They have this supplement called R Square. And the marketing behind it talks about how it actually activates your gene pool and DNA and blah 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 and make you younger. Okay, and then so I eat it. I subscribe to it. Okay, and then I look at the ingredient list. Cordyceps, ginseng. Very simple stuff. Maybe it's a proprietary blend, a certain blend of it, but I do not think it activates your, gene cell and all that. So that's marketing, right? So honestly, to me, my belief is everything. If you position it well, if you market it well, if you know your USP well, you can sell a lot of stuff online. So that's what we are good at. Okay, we're just mainly a market company. So last year, our revenues were 4.9 million, right? We needed to have it audited for certain reasons, so that's why I knew the number. If not, I wouldn't know. Okay, and I would say for the last 3 years, we've been growing 2 times every year. Okay, and that's why I'll be sharing with you some of the strategies that we've implemented that allow us to grow. Okay, like Raymond mentioned to you, when we shared office, it was 2008. So it's 8 years until now. So to be honest, I grew quite slow and stuff. Very rocky. As every other entrepreneur it's not that easy. Some people have it lucky, from the start, they do well, they grow very fast. For us, it was the last 3 to 4 years that we started growing faster. Okay? So, small introduction. I came from a regular Singaporean family. Both of my parents were working adults. Okay, I stayed in a HDB flat. The reason I want to share this is because that is my why for going into business. Because as a young kid, my mom was a nurse. She worked double shifts all the time to make ends meet. So because of that, I told myself when I grow up, I want to be a business person or earn enough money such that I have time and financial freedom. That's why a lot of people, I guess the word financial freedom has been overused, but honestly, really, that really stood out to me. Because I want to spend time with my family. And if you know me on Facebook, that's why you see me, my daughter and my wife all the time on Facebook, right? Because that's why I went into business, okay? And right now, of course, my mom did well. She eventually became a business owner. She runs nursing homes, and we spend time together. But I guess since young, that was the reason that really pushed me hard. And I think that's very important. You need to know your why. Later on I'll be sharing. I failed so many times, and I'm sure most of you also went through that struggle, failing, getting up, failing again, getting up, and eventually succeeding to a certain extent. So you need to know your why. So these are just some of my early ventures. I never worked for anyone before, except probably AIA, if you consider that. Because in the army, I took up, I could stay at home. Not stay at home. I could book out. So I took a certified financial planning program. And after I graduated from army in university, I tried to be an AIA agent. Disastrous. I can't sell shit, one-to-one. So that didn't work out well. I started a company with another friend called Evox Solutions. We did event planning. Okay, the first event lost money, so of course we didn't continue that. Okay, I had a car grooming company called Elron. Okay, very typical. I'm Alvin. My partner's called Aaron, so Elron. young kids. So we wanted to initially attack the condominiums. Like get contracts going there so that we can do washes and grooming. Money's in the grooming, not washes. Okay, but then we were young, we were naive. We tried to talk to condominium, managers, nobody wanted to entertain us. I guess maybe had to pay some property money or whatever, we had no idea. Okay, so in the end, we went to the HDB areas. We went to wash cars, wanted to attack that area. Eventually, luckily, we managed to get good clients. A lot of clients hopped on to us. For those of you who say there's those Bangla Indian workers washing, right? So because they always use the same pail, the same cloth. So because of that, we stood up. We said, we always change the water and all that. Okay, so a lot of them jumped over, but eventually we had to close it down because the business was good. But the Bangla, they weren't happy. So they actually threatened our workers and said that whichever cars that you're washing, we'll scratch it. So you think about it, there's no way I can win. As long as they scratch my client's car, I'm done for. The client will come after me, no matter what I say, right? We wanted to go to MOM, but then MOM won't work like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. can't catch them. So, we just gave up, okay? And eventually another community, entrepreneurship community called Project Senso, okay? This is something that whereby it's actually a non-profit to inspire entrepreneurs. Okay, but the irony was the group of us who started it weren't entrepreneurs yet. I guess that's what happens. Usually you see, kids or people wet behind the ears, don't even know what to say. Try to do something and then try to act. So eventually that didn't work out fine too, okay. But I'm just sharing this so that you have a context of my background and where I come from, okay. So it was only in 2004 that I started being exposed to internet marketing. Okay, do note this talk is not just about internet marketing. It's about business growth in general. Okay, but it was then in 2004 when I was still studying in university, Singapore Management University. I read online. Can actually make money online. Then I read this book and then I just followed up. And then I was very lucky, to be honest. Right from the start, I was making money. I made $30 a day, profit $50, eventually $80 a day. So I was making about maybe $2,000 to $3,000 every month while still studying in university. Okay? The downside of making money when you're studying is what? I don't study anymore. I'm probably the worst student in SMU for that year. I even failed a module before. Because I had this theory, you can't fail at all. So I skip class until really I failed. But okay, of course the good thing was I managed to find a system that worked for me, earn some money. So eventually, as I graduated from Singapore Management University, I then started getting an office space, right? And this was my first office in 2006. Okay, it was at Tanjong Pagar. Okay, I found the office when I was interning. During lunchtime or actually coffee break, run out, try to review offices nearby. So next time, if you have interns and they suddenly disappear, you know what they're doing. So this is an office space at Tanjong Pagar, one of the shop houses. Very good deal. They said 1,500 square feet. that's what they listed, and going at $2,200. Very cheap, okay? The cheap, beautiful place, the timber floor, high ceilings, you know. Previously an image consultant owned it. But of course, that's me with my friends. We had no money, so DIY, we bought, you know, our own partitions, the paint, we did them ourselves, you know. So after that, of course, the painted version is here. Okay, so it was very budget. I remember back then, even basically it was me and my friend called Eddie Lee. He's now the group CEO of New Union. We were just sharing an office. The whole reason is, you know, while I didn't really need an office back then, I wanted somewhere where I could work productively, and I did aspire to hire people. Okay, and for him also, he was a website designer back then. Just him and me, two of us in 1,500 square feet. You know, us in our own big rooms, and then the whole office is empty. You know, but we did aspire to grow, and yes, we did. He hired his first staff there, so about three of us in that 1,500 square feet. Okay, but I think the key thing that I learned from here was, you know, and I'm sure all of you also know, as you're starting up, you know, you're very tight with the money, right? Because you know you don't want to waste, you know, on like actually Reno also, you know, it's waste money on we shouldn't have actually, even if it's DIY. And that's a lesson that I learned later on. What do I mean? As our company finances become better and better, I did spend quite a fair bit on Reno on unnecessary things, which I regret now. Okay, but I mean these are lessons that we learn along the way, I guess. Okay. So yeah, let's go in proper. The first thing that I want to talk about is the law of focus. Okay, this is something that I believe in. Okay, maybe some of you might call it bullshit or whatever, but it didn't work for me. What do I mean by that? I do not believe in serial entrepreneurship. Anybody that is out there a serial entrepreneur, majority, okay, there are some superstars for sure, but the rest of them, basically, if they have a few companies, none of it is performing at its optimal maximum capacity. Most likely, you know, for local, you know, friends or those serial entrepreneurs, maybe they have a few businesses all doing 6 figures, collectively 7 figures. That's peanuts, right? I'm talking, if you're talking about Elon Musk, okay, they're on different category. But that's what I'm saying. In general, there are people of that caliber, but majority of us do not have the capacity, the time, and the resources to really be a serial entrepreneur. Unless you can really recruit top leaders under you, you know, your generals to become your new CEOs, you know, like maybe you're Richard Branson, billionaire, and then you just recruit CEOs, or you're like Rocket Internet, you know, they hire people to hate CEOs, to hate their companies, unless you can do that. But majority of us, when we're starting up, we don't have that. We don't have money, we don't have resources, we only have one person our time. So we need to focus. So back then, I had 4 companies. Okay, when I went to Hong Kong Street. Back then, Success Vantage wasn't called that, it was called something else, Mantis Marketing, but it's the same company. I had another company called Authority Group. Okay, we made money teaching seminars, me and a very good friend, Joel, who's doing very well today. And we taught how to make money online programs, we sold how to make money online programs online also, okay? And I had another company with another partner called Sevan Consultants. We did SEO consulting, okay? And then another company, virtual office space. So we use our office space at Hong Kong Street as a virtual office because we thought, since we're using the space now, I just ask one staff to go and you know, put all the letters, put it properly and everything, and then I can rent out and earn some extra money. I guess, you know, a majority of us always think that way at the start. Hey, I can do this and earn a bit extra, a bit extra, a bit extra. Here, this opportunity here, this opportunity there. But what happens? What you do not realize is that not only does it take up some time, it takes up some of your brain space. Like if there are problems to solve for that business, who did they go to the staff? Eventually have to come to you, and then you need to solve it. And as you know, every business has problems. So imagine 4 businesses with different problems. What? Headache. So although, you know, for some of them we had 2 staff, 3 staff, 1 staff, you know, collectively I think we had like 10 staff, and they were all doing okay, some not so okay. I realized that it was, you know, taking a lot of energy running 4 companies. When I focused on one company, the company revenues and profits grew, and the rest all tumbled. And then when I focused on the other one, you know, the rest would then fall down. So that was really first-hand experience. So what did I do? I started cutting the companies. Okay, we sold off a virtual office space to someone else. Okay, Authority Group, I had to make that call with that good friend to say that, okay, you know, I don't think I can contribute enough to it. I think we have to stop it. You know, and then because that company was doing like 200,000-300,000 a year only, and we didn't feel that we could bring it up higher. Okay, so we parted ways. Still good friends, and to this day, I still think that if he's one of the best business partners in terms of. If some of you know him, Joe Chia, very smart, very practical, very effective. Okay? And then eventually, Sevan Consultants. This one is the consultancy. Then I realized also I didn't like meeting people, to be honest, and meeting clients. I remember we closed Yellow Pages for SEO. I thought, wow, payday already, can charge them like 20,000-30,000 a month. Because I was dreaming, actually, same, they only paid us like, I think, $3,000-4,000 a month. And for that $3,000-4,000 a month, when they call, you need to rush down there. Basically, I learned, maybe the model that I was running in terms of consultancy was bad. Oh, no signal. They didn't like Sevan Consultants. Okay, so anyway, or maybe it's Yellow Pages. Okay, so anyway, so I realized that that business model didn't work for me. So I told my partners that I want to be a sleeping partner, you're running. Okay, and they ran it. But eventually that business wasn't making money, and they asked me to top up more money. But then I was like, no, I can't top up money unless you all do proper accounting and all that. If not, I'm putting money for nothing. So we parted ways, and I said, okay, I'll just give all my shares. I don't want anything to do with it. But what happened was, so while I gave away assets or companies or whatever, it didn't matter. Why? I was freeing up my brain space to focus. I gave up virtual office space. I gave up Sevan Consultants. So during the split, I left one, Success Vantage. With one company, I could then focus, going deep, and then started growing it. So this is just something I share with you, fellow entrepreneurs, fellow business people. This is something that I don't know whether you realize it. If you're really managing multiple businesses, it is very, very hard to really grow all of them simultaneously, unless you really, really have good, what I call generals, leading. Okay? So what you focus on expands. Yeah? If you focus on one business, it will expand. Right? So may I ask, what's the number one priority as a business owner? What should we focus on? Anybody? Sales. Some more?
Money.
What? Money.
Money.
Cash flow. Okay. Anything else? Wow, correct. Sales. Okay. Very smart. Sales. Okay. When we're starting out as, because the thing is, so it's okay. Actually, I really didn't know. I don't say correct answer. Cash flow, money, sales. When we're all starting out, this is the lifeblood of every business. But yet you see more and more people, right, spending money on name card, letterhead logo, or whatever, website. All those are not top priority. Okay, depending on what kind of business you're in. But the key number one thing you got to focus on is sales. And when I first started, it sounds common sense, right? But to be honest, if you ask yourself, do you have friends, business owners who do not focus on that first? And in the past, when I had 4 companies, we didn't focus on sales. If you ask me monthly sales, how much? I also don't know. Where do people run business like that one? Don't even know the monthly sales P&L, right? That was me. Okay? We didn't even know sales. But after I started focusing on sales, okay, and I focused on it in a different way. For my business, it's an internet business. So for me, I focus on sales as a daily number. Okay? Because for us, we push easily sell product every day. Depending on your business, maybe some of you have business services or products whereby the life cycle is longer for you to close a client or a deal, so it will be different. For me, I focus on the daily sales. And my target at the start was $500 every single day. So once I started focusing on it, every day I need to have at least $500 worth of sales. And magic happened. It's okay, this is not some woo-woo thing, like I focus, the secret. You don't subscribe to it, then $500, whatever. But it's more of when you know that number, you keep looking at it every day, what happens in your mind? You start thinking how to get $500 every single day, which is $15,000 every single month. What do I need to do? If I don't hit it, I need to do something next day to make up for it. So that's what I did. Okay? And then if you think about it, I asked you some of you raise hands, those who do a gross $1 million. It's very easy to hit $1 million. You just have to work it backwards. Think about it. $1 million in a year works up to what? $83,000 a month, right? And then it's $2,777 a day. So that is how, for any business or anything, you should always look at the numbers that way. And then, to hit $2,777 a day, how much product or services do you need to sell every single day? Just do the math. If your product is $100, you just need to sell 28 products a day. Okay? Of course, depending on your business, some of you are doing servicing, clients, or whatever, it's $5,000, but it takes a week or 2 days or whatever, and you do the math differently, of course, right? You get what I'm talking about. Basically, you work backwards. And once you get this number, what do? The next thing is to then calculate what is your closing rate. How many prospects or leads do you need to get on a daily basis or a monthly basis to get that number, 28. Right? Makes sense. You're just working backwards. This simple, primary school math. Just that the thing is, if you do not do it, if you do not know this number, then how can you achieve it? I'm a big believer in goal setting. Setting this goal. So that the thing is, once you set a goal, you just focus on it. Very easy, But if you don't set anything, you're just floating here, floating there. Some days are good, some days are bad. Some weeks are good, some weeks are bad. What happens at the end of the month? Okay, this is what it is. But if you set the number, then you know what to do. So let's say, for just example, your conversion rate is 10%. Like every time a prospect or lead sees your offer, you get 10% conversion rate. Of course, that's not true, but I'm just taking it to count easier. Then you know how many leads or prospects you need to expose your product to every single day. Right? So if you need 28 to sell 28 products every single day at 10% conversion, you will need 280 leads or prospects to see your offer every single day. Very simple. So what do you need to do next? You know that's the exact number. So you need to be in, put advertising, advertise on Facebook, Google, go out there, cold call, whatever, I don't know, cold call on the phone, I don't know, whatever technique. But as long as it hits that number, you will, assuming you still can convert 10%, get the number that you want. So it's all about working backwards, honestly, very simple stuff, right? So, yeah. So that's how we approach our business, okay? And then at the start, so I really did this exercise, that's why I'm talking about it. Do note that whatever I'm sharing today, it's all personal experience and what I believe in. It's not some mumbo jumbo. Nowadays I think more and more people go and look at the American authors, the American speakers, the American trainers, take their content, come back to Singapore, rehash themselves, and then say, oh, this is what you should do, blah blah blah, with no experience. Okay? And then over time, they get experience. How all the guinea pigs buying first, and then they have experience already, right? So for me, everything is really experience. It's really in the trenches, really blood and soul. Okay? So I set $500 a day, blew past it. $1,000 a day, blew past it. Okay, $5,000 a day, blew past it. And then I remember on Facebook a few years back, I set this goal, $3 million revenue, and then amount to $8,333 a single day, blew past it. Okay, now we are above $15,000 every single day. Okay, so the thing is, do not be so, don't take it like, oh, Alvin says day, I also want a good day. No, depending on your business, it could be week, it could be month. Just that, as I know because for us, our business is in a way such that it's quite easy to know my daily sales. It's quite easy to control and maintain the consistency. So once it dips, I know I can get that alert every single day. If I'm not hitting my numbers, I'll know in advance. I cannot wait at the end of Monday and say I never hit, then how die already, right? You'll eat into our reserves or whatever. So for me, I look at it daily, okay? When daily sales go, okay? So this is something that I feel, I really believe in. When I start focusing on it, I start hitting, and then I set higher and higher goals. Okay? So our next goal is $25,000 every single day. Okay? So how do you achieve that? Cannot be like Alvin, I just write the number, then it will appear, right? Yes. So I'll be sharing some simple revenue multiplier techniques that we've implemented. Okay. Okay. First, this will be different for every business. What do I mean by that? You need to first analyze your business, analyze the numbers, and find your growth driver within your business. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. For my business, 2-3 years ago, we used to put out one product every 3 to 4 months. Okay? If the product does well, it sells well online, for that month, we'll have a good month. Okay? And every month after that, because of we still be selling it and it's a new product line, we still make an extra $10,000 to $20,000 every month. So it makes sense, right? If I have a good product, good month, every month increase already, level up. Okay, but what happens when that product bombs? Means doesn't sell well, market doesn't like it, I sell some, I just make back some money. What happens is that for that month, I just make the same amount. Every month, same, nothing, same, not much difference. Okay? So I realized that, hey, then I gotta wait another 3 4 months before a new product comes up, before my revenues or profits increase again. So I realized, oh, okay, this is my growth driver. I just need more products. Okay, because for my business, back then, we didn't use a lot of what we call paid traffic on Facebook advertising or Google advertising. We didn't use a lot of paid advertising. For us, my business, we are very what we call affiliate driven, meaning we have people who sell our products, they earn a commission. Okay, so the ways that we sell our product was quite, the traffic or the visitors that we got was within this kind of pool that was quite similar. Same group, maybe about 2-3 million people just seeing the same offer. So all I need to grow is show more offers. Different offers. Some will buy this, some will buy product A, some will buy product B, some will buy C, right? Because honestly for me, I didn't know Facebook advertising, didn't do it well, I didn't do other kinds of advertising. So that's what I mean by you need to look at your own business, look at your own strengths, look at how it is, then you can find and go for it. What is contributing, majority of the sales? The thing is, if we don't look at it and think about it, what happens is that every day, we get so bogged down with operations. I mean, I'm sure every day fighting fire already. I come to office or start work, fire come already. Then lunch already. Maybe not even eating lunch. Then by the time end of day already. See, no time to think, no time to analyze. And if you think about it, is it very deep analysis? No, it's very simple stuff. Create more products. Okay, so we revamped the business such that we could create one new product every single month. Okay, it took some time. Okay, it took some frustration on the team because the team is used to one product every 3 or 4 months. Then I tell them, can be possible. And you just whatever, just tell them can because eventually can. Okay. So for me, I'm always optimistic. I tell them can. Of course, we push as hard as we can, and then eventually we'll know what is possible. But it was possible, and eventually we could have one product every month. So instead of previously 1 year maybe 3 or 4 products, I could put up 12 products. What happens? My risk is lower. I can have 6 duds and 6 winners, and I'll still have 6 winners, and then it's still more than if I did 4 products a year. Okay? And of course, in my industry, creating a product isn't very costly. Relatively compared to any other industry. So you also have to then analyze and look at your kind of business, your kind of numbers, and see what is your growth driver. But it is there. Okay? And I think about it, this new technique pop up from nowhere. This new realization of creating more product, need to be learned from some new guru out there? No, it's just that I didn't see it. Just like maybe you're not seeing something right now in your business whereby you can easily grow it. Okay? So for me, it was that creating more products, and then now we create about 2 products every month. And then of course we hit a certain cap, and then we realize, hey, okay. Okay, so we realized that, for us to scale even bigger, we want to actually not have so many products, but actually have lesser products, but for each product we scale it higher. Meaning each product, rather than just making 6 figures, we want each product to go 7 figures, potentially 8 figures. Advertising, getting more reach, because there's 7 billion, how many billion people in the world? So many people out there. In America, I think it's 300+ million, all around. A lot of people aren't seeing our product yet, it hasn't been exposed. So right now we changed the strategy. That strategy, a product or 2 products now every month work well for us to this level. To get to the next level, reanalyze your business, recheck and see what makes sense for you. Right? So for us right now, in fact, I told you I had personal development products, health products, business opportunity. We're cutting all out and we're just focusing on something, on our health supplements. Why? Because I realized, my health supplements profit is more, than all my other information products already. And then it's only just 2 supplements, or actually 1 supplement driving all the sales. Does it make sense to really spend time? And we do spend a lot. Actually, we spend equal time on all. And it's like, hey, shouldn't we just not let it go, but don't grow it anymore, and focus on what gives you the biggest ROI? So right now we're cutting and not focusing on whatever. It still makes us money, but just not growing it and focusing on what gives us the highest ROI, which is health supplements for us. So you see, another realization, right? And there's no wrong or right, it's just at different stages of your business, you see different things, and different things will then apply to you. So that's what I mean by growth drivers, okay? So go analyze, look at your business, really look at the numbers. What is giving you majority of your revenue, majority of your profits? Should we just focus on that 80-20 rule, or should you look at the rest? And if you think about it, it goes back to my previous theory of the law of focus. I'm now focusing on only one vertical, supplements. So the next thing I'd like to share, most of you have heard me say, split testing. Don't like me split testing even. I just touched this. Okay. I know how to do it. Okay. Split testing. So, it doesn't matter if your business is not online. Even if it's brick and mortar, you can still split test. Split test just means showing a prospect version A versus version B. Okay, you can change the graphic. Maybe you change the color of the button, or you change the headline or the copy. It's just changing certain elements and then running two versions and seeing which one outperforms. Okay, and for me, when I started doing that about 3 to 4 years ago, when I first started, I used to do it myself. And then what happened is, same like every entrepreneur, you do something yourself, and after that forget and leave one side. Quite elephant. So I realized it cannot. I've seen friends who did split testing, they got an increment in their revenues. I'll show you some examples. So I started hiring my first 2 marketing people. And then one guy, I told him, okay, the only thing you need to do is just split test. Everything that you have online, just test. Okay. And then, so basically, because for us, e-commerce, we're mainly online, so we can test a lot of things easily. So similarly for yourself, even if it's a brick and mortar, I'm sure if you meet a lot of prospects, you can change your closing strategy. Maybe you're doing flyers, change and test different things. The thing is, if you do not test and you only run one version, how will you know whether that's the best version or a sucky version, right? So with testing, you will then know. Okay, it's a bit small, but I'll go through it. So this is just examples of split tests that we've run. Okay, for online, we use a tool called Visual Website Optimizer. Okay, you can use Google Experiments, that's free. This one is a paid tool. What it does is that it allows you to just easily put 2 versions of a website and see which converts better. It could be, when I mean convert, it could be sell something better. It could be click to the next page. It could be maybe you're collecting leads online and just having a name and email to collect, and then it could also be that. Okay. So in this case, the first example, the first version was converting these sales at 2.9%, meaning that for every 100 visitors that came to that page, 2.9 people will buy. Okay. And the version that I was split testing it against was converting at 1.28. So imagine if I didn't test. And imagine if I was running just the second version without any other, I'll be converting at 1.28. So I get what? Less. Every 100 people, I get less 1 plus customer. Of course, I could be lucky and running the first version, and then I didn't know better. But can you see how, if you do not test, you're really running in the dark? Okay? And so once you have a good version, you can just go online, split testing, and then they'll teach you all statistics and all that. Once you have a good version, what you do is then you try to outbid that version. You try to think, okay, why did this win the other one? And then you come out a new test and you keep running it. So right now at our company, easy, we're running over 100 split tests on all our websites, all our pages. So there's a team, I think now there's 2 or 3 people checking in because there's so many all the time. So this is something that I would highly recommend that you just quickly implement. Okay? Don't need to worry about the tech part of it. Okay? Don't even think of, you ask, what do I test? I have no idea what to test. Doesn't matter. Okay, if your website for that page that you're running traffic or prospects are visiting, maybe you're running SEO or whatever, just change the image, change the headline, what we call headline, if you're familiar, meaning whatever the call to action is. Because just changing that can have a big difference. Okay? There was a time whereby I just changed the headline, meaning everything is the same on the page. Okay? One headline was called, the smartest, happiest, what the smartest, happiest, and most successful people in the world like to do, or something like that. Then the other one was just saying something else. Okay, and there was a 200% increment. Why do these things happen? It is because we always think we know our customers, our prospects, what they're thinking. And we do, after a long time, we have some gut feel. But what's the best way? Is it better for us? Even after many years, for example, you're in this industry, you have 10 years of experience, you can make a calculated bet on what you think will work best. But what is the best? What is the best? Who is better, you or the market? Market meaning the prospects. So basically, when you do a test, what am I doing? I'm letting the market decide. yes, I will have my favorites. I think this will win. Now, but I'll test something else that I had no idea will win, and let the market decide. Sometimes, if I win, that's great, and I'll test something else. But sometimes the market will show you that prospects, customers all prefer something else. That is why you need to test. Okay? If you go to this website, is whichtestone.com. Amazon, all the big e-commerce sites are all split testing a lot of different things. So how can us, as SME business owners, not split test? Okay? So always do that, even if you're closing. I know it's harder for brick and mortar, like I said, maybe for 10 customers, you close a certain way, 10 customers, you offer another techniques. That's your only way to split test. But I believe, the majority of us now, I think a lot of us run advertising online. That is becoming more and more the norm. And if you're running advertising online, you need to be split testing. Okay, I know a lot of local friends, agencies, copywriters, whatever, they write ads for clients, and I ask them whether it's split testing, they say no. Okay, a lot of money is being left on the table when you do a split test. The second test, it was a lead generation page. We collect names and emails in return for giving us something. So the difference was 148% increment. Okay, that's because we had a version that was very bad. And we wouldn't have known otherwise. Usually we don't have it so bad, but we wouldn't have known otherwise if we didn't test. And then below, okay, if you ask me, every time test share got big increment, no lah. Sometimes you get data that's useless also. Sometimes you test two things, they're the same, there's no difference, it's fine. Move on, test something else. So this one is another case whereby the increment is just 12.4%. Okay? But even if it's as long as in the increment, I will take it. Will you not? If it's 12.4% increment, maybe it's customers. So for every 100 customers, I get a 12.4%. Maybe that means 1.2 extra customer a month. 1 year, that's 12, 14 customers extra. It all adds up. Do not leave anything on the table. Okay? So split test. Okay? And then the next thing, a technique, I'm sure most of you are using, so you just remember to use it, is whether you are constantly upselling. Okay? Cross-selling, upselling. I'm sure you're all familiar with the famous McDonald's. We like to supersize, now cannot already, we like to upsize. So basically, we like fries, we like apple pie, people are always upselling. And when you ask that question, a certain percentage of people will take it. If you do not ask, no, 100% nobody will take it because you didn't ask. So you need to construct within your business, within your product, within your service line, upsells and cross-sells. Okay, synergistic products, of course, that your customers might want. Okay, if you do not do that and you only have one product or just a few products and do not do cross-selling or upselling, money is left on the table. Okay, I'll give you examples of my own experience. Okay. So, these examples in the real world also. M1, I just recontracted for iPhone 7 recently, about 2 weeks ago. Wow, recontract, the person keep upselling me, the person. Like, say, do you want this extra? Or like, okay, the first one was the iPhone, what care? Apple Care. No, don't want. Then after that, there's another insurance plan, not Apple Care, but also like if you, your phone gets wet or whatever, you pay $200, $300 insurance fee and then they will replace it. That's it, don't want. Then after that, got another SIM card. They say, oh, you want this extra SIM card which you can use overseas? Don't want. Then another ask, hey, your home line, is it M1 or no, stuff, I don't want. See, what are all companies doing at the same time? They are always upselling, cross-selling. Okay, because you know how hard it is to get a prospect in front of you, be it online or in front of you. So once you close them, once they buy from you, they are in that impulse phase already. People like to buy things in general. There's this emotional high, right? So that is the right opportunity to really upsell them something and cross-sell something that they need. Okay? If you want to sell them things that they don't need, also can, as long as you do it well. So, because at the end of the day, what I realized, I started checking a bit is, people don't like to buy what they need. They want to buy what they want, or what they think they want, right? That's why when I was at AIA, I can't sell shit. They all need insurance. I believe a lot in insurance. I'm like, covered $5 million so that my family is catered for. But it's a need, it's not a want. So people always push it to the back of their mind. I'm sure you know that, it's something that is good to do later, right? It's always good later until, something happens. So, if you can construct your product to create more wants, your upsells is a want to them, let me give you examples of upsells. Maybe you sell them a service, okay? Or you're teaching, maybe you're selling training, a training program. And then your upsell is a done for you. If you think about it, so why would they want it done for you? Because trading, yeah, people like to attend trading, but actually no, they don't like attend rate, forget already. Then you say you tell them the done for you solution. Means you do it for them. Of course, much higher fee. People will buy it. Why? It's something different, but it's the same thing, right? Or you sell them a faster way to do something, speed up their performance or results. I mean, I don't know, many of you have different kind of businesses. So you have to think of how, in general, done for you stuff, speed up their performance, or just cross-sell some complementary products. Okay, if you all go to GoDaddy, it's a website registrar. When you buy at website.com, you will see also, I mean, if you haven't experienced it, go there tonight, GoDaddy.com, buy a website. They will cross-sell you, upsell you like mad. I think like 10 times or something like that. You just click no, you accidentally click yes, what? At the end, you see extra bill, you must cancel it out. Okay, why do they do it? Isn't it irritating? A little bit. But why do they still do it? It adds to their bottom line. The numbers make sense. That's why you do it. So if you're not doing, giving money on table, right? So this is just some stats. This one, Amazon reported this in 2006. That cross-sell is responsible for 35%. And that was in 2006. Okay? Imagine now, I'm sure they're doing all the cross-sells and everything. Okay? So this is an example for me of how I experienced, I did my upselling. Okay? And how actually initially also I had an idea, I can't do an upsell in my product like that, who will want to buy more of it? So this is a supplement we have, it's an oxygen supplement. Okay, we cloned it from some US top supplement. So when a person visits the website, eventually we'll present them with 3 options. Buy 1 bottle, buy 3 bottles, or buy 6 bottles. Okay? So 1 bottle is 1 month supply, 3 is 3 months, 6 is 6 months. So at the start, I was thinking, sell them this, what else to sell to them? This was one of my earlier supplements, I got nothing to cross-sell, no other supplement. I didn't know what to sell. I was thinking, can I sell them more of this or not? Doesn't make sense, right? I mean, if the guy buy 3 means he want 3, like, he don't want 6 or 1. He made a choice, right? That's what goes on logically, right? Here's the thing. So I was very fortunate. I remember I was on a plane. I was reading this. I was watching this training program on an iPad, and it was someone else's, some other company selling supplements. Okay, and they just happened to show when they sell this was selling 1362. When someone buys it, what do? They sell more of the same supplement. Yeah, I thought, can man? The person still want to buy so many man? So I tried. What's the conversion rate? Okay, I just give you context. If they buy 1 bottle, I will sell them 3 more bottles. At a discount, of course. Right? You need to do a discount. You need to give them the 1. Okay? If they buy 3 bottles or they buy 6 bottles, I sell them 6 more. Okay? At a discount. 30 to 40% people take it up. Can you imagine how much money is left on the table when I didn't offer it? Right? So the key thing is you have to give a reason why you're not selling them more. You say, I'm just worried. You got to find reasons. You said, okay, because you shown interest. I thought that because in case in the future when the stock runs out, I want to make sure that you have enough stock. So I'm willing to give it at a discount to you. Just give some excuse. The key thing is you must always give a reason for the discount. It can sound a bit weird, it doesn't matter. As long as you give a reason, people, sometimes buyers, prospects, will just say, okay lah, internalize it and say, take it. Okay? So can you imagine, 30 to 40%, and of course we're split testing and still trying to get the number higher. And because we track and split test, we know the number. If you're not tracking or split testing, you will know the number. So they're all tied to each other, everything that I share. Okay? Then now, recently I came back from Texas earlier this year. Then I realized, try again. Upsell after they buy, sell some more. Doesn't make sense, right? If the guy buy 6, then buy 6, you still want to sell him 1 year already. I tried. Okay? Because when I was in Texas, the guy told me a way to say it. So it was more of, after the guy buys 6 and 6 again, I will say, we'll do the loading page and then we'll say, we're already packing your supplements in the box already. There's more space actually. Since there's more space and we are not charging you, it's the same cost, why not we fill it up with 6 more at a discount? Okay? Yes, okay. And to be honest, the take-up rate wasn't that good, but there was take-up rate. So you need to do your math. Okay? The supplement for us costs $3. So it makes sense. Okay? And the numbers eventually was it was 10%, the second upsell whereby I sold them again, 10% of the front end, meaning that if I made 100,000 in sales for just the static part 136, okay, my that second upsell gets me an extra 10% more revenue. Okay, so it all adds up. It's not as good as the first upsell one. The one I told you 30 to 40% taking it up. Okay, so but in general, what I'm trying to say is maybe that was pushing a limit, but there's still juice there, right? Or now that we have more supplements, we'll cross-sell already and we'll test, you know. So the key point is, it didn't make sense. You won't know until you try. Okay? And for most of you, as long as you're selling things online, you can easily set up an upsell test, a cross-sell test. Just see the data. Let the data decide for you. Don't let your logic. Imagine if I stuck to my logic and said, I sell them so many, they won't buy anymore. How? I'll make less money. Why is that money important also? It's not just about us making more money. As we can sell more and they buy more, the customer value goes up. And what does it mean? It means that I can afford to advertise at a higher price. End of the day, just think about it. If an average customer spends $200 with me versus a competitor, also a supplement seller, his average client spends $100 with him. On advertising, who can win? I can spend $150, you know, on Facebook, Google, whatever. Outbid him. I can't even go that high. Why? Because he makes $100. And I make $200. I can outspend him and outbid him. And spending $150, I was doing net $200. I was doing net $50, and he cannot compete. That is why increasing the lifetime value of your customer, average customer, is so important. You will be able to crush your competition, outspend them, outbid them. You know, ceteris paribus. Of course, if your angles and all that being the same, you can outprice them. So that's why it's also important, okay, that you have upsells and cross-sells to increase customer lifetime value. Okay, so remember, keep calm and remember upsell. So every time we plan out a product, we always plan out the whole lineup. What do we sell initially? What do we cross-sell? You know, what do we upsell? The whole flow. You know, they call it funnels. You know, we plan it out in advance. Okay, and then sometimes, honestly, when you ask me, does an upsell not make sense? Sometimes, yeah. You know, we can upsell that bomb. Change it? Doesn't matter. You know, you just keep testing. That's why the testing is so important. There are cases whereby you think that this upsell will do well, it didn't do well, then you just change it, and then something else will do well. Eventually, something else will do well. But the key point I think I want to talk about or stress here is, what are you doing extra? You're not advertising more. You're not like spending more money. You're changing things within your control. Create a new package. Create a new product. Split testing. You don't need external forces. You can do it all yourself. That is where, if you are in control, in business, so many variables, so many market forces, things we cannot control, let's not talk about it, right? But the things within your control, if you do not control it, then it's a waste. Upselling, cross-selling, split testing, these are things within your sphere of control. You must do it to out-age the competition. Okay? Okay, and this is something else, what we call an integrated cross or upsell. Basically, what we do on a further basis is, for example, upsells or whatever. Integrated means you automate it. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, say for example, maybe you sell a product and you ship to your client. Immediately you want to have integrated marketing. Maybe there's a template promoting something else. Maybe there's a coupon code promoting more of your same product, or something else. You want to inbuild it such that it's automated and you're tracking it. Okay? Meaning that the guy already went through the whole funnel, he bought this, didn't buy that, buy this, and then you're sending everything to him. You still want to market, you still want to establish the customer relationship. You need not be selling, maybe sending him a newsletter with the product, and then inside that there's some subtle selling. Okay? So this is where you want to integrate selling, automated, so that after you do it, set and forget, you just need to monitor only and tweak it. Okay? I'll give you examples of my online examples. Okay, so this is a product we sell online called Pure Natural Healing. Okay, we team up with an acupressurist in Singapore. His name is Peng Tat. He does a lot of seminars. He teaches people. So what we did is, we filmed him doing these acupressure techniques, and then we created people, we did video training, and we sold it online. Okay, so this is the product, Pure Natural Healing acupressure. Okay, but once a person buys it, what we do is we have banners inside the download page. meaning as they're going to download with banners advertising other kinds of products. Okay? In this case, this was something else, like something stomach cancer, another thing was some home opportunity. Okay? And then at the same time, we are split testing, seeing how many people view this, how many people click it, how many people buy. Okay? But the key thing is, I want to draw is, once you put it in there, some people will click, some people will buy the product. Right? So you want to integrate it in all your marketing so that it's set and forget. And it will get you dividends, income streams here and there. Right? So for last week, I saw for 13 August until end of last week, because we're tracking everything, we made an extra $1,200 before just last week alone with all these kind of banners on all our products, integrated marketing. Okay, not a lot of money, but still money. Right? Over a month is how much? $5,000. You know, can hire 1.5% Singapore or two. You know, or in a year, 5,000 is $60,000 extra free profit for doing what? Nothing. Just putting something there, cross-selling your products, maybe cross-selling one of your services. Or if you want, even if you're not cross-selling, and not always selling, maybe you want to build better rapport. So maybe you direct the lead to somewhere else where you can, maybe a community, a free Facebook community or something else. You know, the key thing is do not waste the asset, that property. This is digital gold, online property. Okay? So very simple stuff, very easy implementable, right? But are we all implementing it? You know, don't need to hire someone. I mean, banner. Go to this website Fiverr.com. $5, someone create a banner for you. Okay, don't know how to upload. You go to Fiverr again or any of those freelancers, someone to do it for you. Coordinating it, even if you don't have the know-how, you know, someone can do it for you like less than $30, $40. You can do it on your website. Okay, easily. Okay, and then imagine once you have the split testings done, once you have your upsells or cross-sells done, once you have all your integrated marketing done, right? It's like this machine. What do you need to do? Just keep generating leads and prospects. Come in. Then there will be cross-sell, upsell, go here, go there, buy this, buy that, blah, 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 blah. This cycle. So that's how we do our business. Okay? That's why we always focus on lead generation, prospect generation. Okay? So the key thing is, if I didn't have the split testing there, I didn't have the upsell cross-selling, I didn't have the integrated marketing. If I spend $1 a lead, I might not get back as much. But because we have all that working in conjunction, you know, all we needed to do was to actually makes it easier for us to buy, advertise, and positive in terms of ROI advertising, right? So remember, sometimes you think, you know, maybe you advertise, be it newspapers or whatever, you say, I cannot make back a positive return, or maybe online or whatever. That's not the problem. The problem is you're not split testing, you're not upselling, cross-selling, such that the customer lifetime value is high enough for you to support. Okay? So once you do that, you can easily, you know, make a lot more. And to be honest, just to share with you, we are also, my company is still not monetizing to the fullest effect. Okay, we do not sell high-ticket items. I do not sell like $2,000, $3,000 programs on our back end. If we did that, we would increase our customer lifetime value. So that's something that we are also still working in progress, you know, to implement. Okay, but whatever I share with you now, easily, I'm sure, 50-70% of you can implement at least one of it in your business in some way or another. Maybe not in the same way that we do it, but modification. The concept is very universal, it's fundamental, right? Okay, so even when I was doing that, okay, 22nd August 2015 came about. Okay, you know what day? B-Day. My daughter was born, okay, Trinity. So last year she was born, and what happened was that in the first month in Singapore, usually they hire a confinement nanny. On day 2, my confinement nanny quit. You know, she and my wife didn't get along. So who became the new confinement nanny? I know how to bathe, change diaper, everything. Okay? So I was pulled away from the business, obviously, to take care of my daughter. And I remember for the first month, I was at home. Actually, 2 months I was at home. I was working the business from home. It was tough, honestly. I remember it's the first time I also had to fire someone on Skype. We had one employee, a web designer, who wasn't performing. The people in the office didn't know what to do with her. And I had to actually talk to her on Skype and fire her. That's the first time I ever did something like that. Like she was in the office and I fired her. So No, but the funny thing is, what happened was, why did this happen? Did I need to fire and take care of things in the office? Wasn't there the number 2, number 3 people in the office to take care of this? Team leaders and all that? You know, I realized I didn't decentralize power, knowledge, and know-how properly. By then, my team, I think, was maybe 15, 16 people, I don't know. But they were all still driven. I was still, in a sense, the key decision maker. Everything finished, I still need to vet. You know what happens? I become the bottleneck. So I can work my ass off, you know, and really generate so much, millions. But the moment I'm gone, everything crumbles and falls, right? So I did buy a $1 million policy in the event that I pass, the company will get 1 million, so at least they can tide over for a few months while they figure things out. But that's not the point. The point is, I need, as a business, you need to groom your talent, your key leaders, to lead the company, and like I said earlier on, so that the company functions without you, right? Yes, you have the option to go in faster, but you want it as much as possible to be able to function without you. You must teach and groom your leaders to know how to make decisions, how to make calls, right? So back then, you know, everything was on me. So I realized, cannot really, you know, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to spend time with my daughter. I was being hard pressed both sides. And to be honest, I feel very bad about it. In fact, there were times where I felt frustrated that I had to take care of my daughter, you know, that I couldn't go back to the business. And then I told myself, hey, why am I thinking like that? The whole reason, remember, I went to business was spend time with family, right? And why am I complaining when I have that, right? So I told myself, hey, you know, I'll spend time with my family, but I need to make a change. Okay, I need to be able to systemize the business, to scale it such that it will grow, and even if it doesn't grow, but maintain, earn money, and I do not need to be the bottleneck. You know. So I'll be sharing. So here are some strategies and things that I did to allow me to do that. Okay, I needed to decentralize everything. You know, this person back then when he was team leader, they were team leaders in the sense that managing it, but not making decisions. So I had to decentralize power. Okay, and one way, you know, I was in Texas and it was a mastermind also, and I met this guy. His name was Big Mike. He had 200 people in his company. Okay, then he was telling me, yeah, Alvin, you need to have SOPs. You know, he doesn't know what the company does anymore. He just flies around, attends training. Once he feels the training is great, he will then buy a consultant, fly a consultant to his company. So that's what he does. Then I could see, oh, he's looking at a bigger picture already. You know, I'm sure you all are familiar with the E-Myth, right? Michael Gerber. You know, you cannot work in the business, you need to work on it. Or something like that, I don't know. You know, when we all read it and we all know systemization is good. But yet, do we do anything about it? No. You know, we just go along, fight the fires, put out the fires, try to grow our business, make ends meet. Okay? So he recommended 2 things to me. The first one was, Alvin, you need to have more SOPs, protocols in your company. Okay? And honestly, I didn't know that because I never worked in any other company, MNC or anything before, so I didn't know all this. So I was like, oh shit, okay. Then he told me you need to have a person in charge of SOP. And then you'll spread throughout so that everyone is then documenting all their parts so that they can then teach other people easily. Okay? As SMEs, wow, this is like pain in the ass. SOP taking of time, you really no time to do finish the things, you already still an SOP. You know? So we did a little bit of that and helped, and we continuously do it, but that didn't change everything. Okay? And the second thing he recommended was to read this book, The System by Sam Carpenter. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. Okay? I said don't read it, I really want to sleep. I'm sure these concepts are great, okay, but for me, to be honest, I'm a very avid reader, I read a lot. But sometimes some things don't gel with me or it's too complicated for me, I'm very simple, I need it simple, then I cannot get it. So if you can Google it, it's online free, you know. If you figure it out, then please tell me what you learned. Otherwise, I'm going to share you very, very simple, implementable things. You know, as business owners, entrepreneurs, we have time. Need to do things not too complicated, simple, chop, get results, right? Okay, so this is how I approach systemization. Okay, very simple one, very simple. Look at your daily tasks. What are the 3 top things that you do every single day that take up most of your time? Are there repetitive tasks? They can be important or they can be unimportant, I don't care. The 3 things that take up the most time in your day. Write that down. Think about it. What do you need to do? If you're doing sales, how many hours? Write down how many hours. Or you're doing this thing, admin, 2 hours a day or whatever, I don't know. Or maybe then you should outsource it or whatever. Just think about the 3 things that take up the most time. Okay? Once you think about that, okay, then focus on the first one. That's what I did. Okay? So just to share with you all. For me, there was one task that took up 2 to 3 hours every day, rain or shine. Okay? Even when I'm holidaying overseas. Okay? For my type of business, it's called emailing. Okay? We have a database of 1.4 million prospects. And we need to email them. Okay? Who emails them? Me. I've been emailing them since 2006 all the way until this year, February, Chinese New Year. Yeah, I remember Chinese New Year because that's where I let go. Okay, why didn't I let go earlier? Trust. These are my database. If I give someone else to do, what if they steal it, run away with it? Abyss. Can they do it as well as me? And these are all the thoughts that will go in your mind. No one will do it as well. Right? You do it best, but you do everything. Okay? Because for emails, we need to promote offers. Then I'm thinking, would they know which offers to promote? For me, everything goes in my mind. I know I can remember. Would they remember as well? They won't. Right? So trust. Would they do as well as you? No. Next thing is, don't want to let go. I know some of you all, I want to hold it. I just don't want to let go. I do it so long already, I must do it. Wrong. Yes, if you want to stay small. No, if you want to scale to the next level. All this kind of tasks, repetitive, can be delegated to trustworthy people. You can implement ways to make sure and safeguard your interests, and you can implement systems that ensure that they eventually learn how to do it as you, and they eventually analyze it. Okay, let me give you an example. So this was a task that took 2 to 3 hours. Okay, emailing every day. I need email, rain or shine. So when I go holiday last time, I got to wake up earlier. Before the holiday starts, I wake up and do send all the email. Or at night, sleep later, send all the emails. And that's not even talking about responding to staff about everything else. Okay? So imagine it takes 2 to 3 hours. If you want to, online you can queue emails in advance. You can send it in advance. But if, let's say, one day takes 2 hours, you want to send it in advance for 1 week, right? That's 14 hours of when you do one shot. So also very hard. Okay? So it was impossible. Finally, this year, Chinese New Year, I gave it up. I thought of a way to pass it on to my trusted generals. Okay? Firstly, what do you need to do? You need to break the task into components. Okay? Because to you, to us, we do it so long. We remember it by heart. We need to think what it's like. You want to explain to people also, you say, hey, it's so simple, why is it stupid? What you gonna do? Right? Because we do it so long. We already internalize it into our soul. But you cannot do that if you want to teach people. You need to really break it down, components. Okay, to do this, what you need to do? You need to do this, scan all this first. Okay, check the offers, what offers are good. Okay, after that, where do you go? Okay, copy paste, do this. Break it down. Okay, try to break down the task into components. Okay, and the reason you want to break it into components is also because you might not want to pass everything to the person first. If you can break it to 3 or 4 components, train the person to do component 1 first. You still do the 3, but they do 1 first. They pass already, they do well, decently well, then you slowly train the rest. That's why you want to compartmentalize it. Okay? Then, after that, of course, as you break it into components, you need to create all the instructions, your own SOP, and so that the person knows how to do it. So there are a few ways I do it. Okay? When I train the person, we immediately record. Like I'm doing it on the computer, so you can use there are a lot of those video capture free one. Not free is Camtasia, there are a lot of free ones. I can't remember which we should use. So as I'm training him, I'm videoing it also. Why? People should forget one. You also forget. So as you video it, he can then, he forget already, he can either ask you or refer. Make sense? And then of course, if he has more time, he tell me, hey, whatever I video, I want you to create an SOP now. You're going to go step by step it up. Okay? So that's one way. So after you do that, okay, and I remember the Chinese New Year was very scary because after I passed it on to them, it was like holiday, Chinese New Year, long holiday. So any kind of shit happens. So I did tell them, okay, my 2 guys, there will be shit. You will make errors. I understand. Anything, any problem, quickly just message me. WhatsApp, Facebook, call me. Out of office hours, no choice because it was a handing over. If we make an error, we might lose $1,000, $2,000. I don't want to lose that money. But and to be honest, you will lose that money. They will make errors. They will make mistakes. They will screw up. But you have no choice. It's part of scaling. Okay? Till today, do they make errors? Yes. But what to do? better than nothing, better than you do the 2 to 3 hours. I took back my life back, that 2 to 3 hours. You know, after that February, wow, you know, I never felt more enlightened, more happier running a business that grows. You know, I really, really then enjoy. Oh, yeah, business is not about being so stressed. Business is actually about enjoying, you know, teaching, grooming, training talent. You know, even if your business doesn't grow, at least you maintain it. It really removes all the stress once you do this kind of systemization. Okay, so remember, the top 3 things that take up all your time. You know, and the beauty of it is what happens. After I get back these 2-3 hours a day, am I more free now? Yes. What can I do now? You know, move on to the next. Okay, let's talk about this first. Okay, when you pass them, got 3 steps. Must follow. Okay, so you don't need to read that Sam Carpenter. Let's follow this. Okay, as you give them as you teach them and delegate to them, you must monitor. You must set up a way that you can monitor the results of whatever they're doing. Okay, I do not know how you monitor. For me, it's like, okay, so they send email, so I tell them, okay, how many visits, how many people click, how much money you make. You don't need to measure and monitor. They must be able to update somewhere. We use Google spreadsheet or data. Depending on your business, I don't know what you're also delegating them. But you must be able to monitor their progress. Okay? They must update it daily and weekly or whatever. Okay, for me it's daily. Then you work around it. The system at the start won't be perfect. You all will face like, hey, we cannot do it daily, we need to do it every 2 days or 3 days or something like that. Then yes, you will learn along the way. And as we implement it, it's not perfect. We modify it to suit human needs, their needs, my needs, and everything. And then we finally come up with a system that works. But if you don't start it, it will never get started. Okay? So as you delegate, monitor, and measure, what happens? If they screw up, you know. If things are looking bad, you also know. And as they put there, they also don't know whether you're looking or not, so they're also scared. So there are a lot of different things also. But of course, we look at it. So what happens is that over time, as they monitor and put the data there, you know, or whatever, they also then, over time, understand it really inside. You know? That's when step 2 comes. Now, in the past, all the analysis went where? Inside my mind. I remember by heart. Could be wrong, could be right, I don't know. You know, but you're the owner, so right now. So now that they are putting the data there, they are analyzing it. I tell them, okay, can you all now analyze it? You can set KPIs for that. I need this to improve by 5% every month, 10% every month. Okay? Why are these numbers going down? Why are these going up? Do you have any idea? After you think, brainstorm together with them, guide them along. Sometimes they have no idea, and then you just tell them, it can be a little frustrating because sometimes you think, why can't you think of that? Remember, your employees, your team members are not you. Right? If they are you, then they'll be sitting in your position. Okay? But you can groom them to their fullest potential. Okay? You can train them. So over time, they'll get better and better. And as they analyze, then they offer suggestions. And over time, you see, you'll be surprised. Their suggestions, their advice will be get better and better. Until it's like self-run already, you're all running already. And you know what happens? They are teaching generation 2. Other team members take over on them already. That's where you know your systemization, your training all worked out. And then of course you can have all those clauses. I mean, sometimes you don't pass things because of trust. You know, I know it's a bit hard. Sometimes you sign non-disclosures, non-competes. You know, it helps a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to enforce, but sometimes just signing that makes people scared already. You know, but I mean, just know that if people go against you, just try your best to fight it out. But in general, those parts, those things that are very essential, you know, pass them to your trusted leaders. Okay, train them, groom them. You know, have them enjoy the benefits, profit share, equity in the company over time. Why? Without them, the business doesn't grow. You need to pay them good numbers, right? You need to, as a team, grow the business. Alone, you cannot grow the business this level. To grow businesses, I mean, to higher levels for us SMEs, you know, to more than 10 million, we need a lot of good team leaders, and these are the people you trust. And then you ask me, what if they run away? What to do? Right? That's part and parcel of life. But on the flip side, if you're always afraid to groom, to train, and to teach people, what happens? You can never grow. Okay? Yes, there will always be a risk. The people that you mentor and you groom run off. Right? But that is part and parcel of life. Some will do, some will not. Those that do not will help your business grow. Or even if they do run off, at least they give you another 2-3 years of their time, helping you grow. They also benefit, and then they leave. Fine. You're part and you're right? So that is the key thing. Okay, so remember, delegate, monitor, measure. This is very important because if you just systemize, give them do, then you don't monitor, the whole shit goes down, the numbers, then your profits, because sometimes you scared it affects your profits and your revenues, it goes to shit, die already. So you need to monitor, okay, measure, and later set KPIs. At the start, cannot set KPIs, they don't even know what they're doing, they're just following your steps. So everything has a time and place, okay? Okay, so what's next? After you clear your number one thing already, second one, right? I told you got 3, right? Move on to the second task that is taking up a lot of your time. Now can you imagine, I have 2 to 3 hours free every day. Oh, I'm going to copy already. Okay, come here. No, but you can then focus your time on clearing all the other things. Over time, as you systemize, delegate, more and more things, frees up more and more time for you. Less and less stress. Business still growing, everything functioning. Over time, your people know things better than you. You only know the big picture, actually, to be honest. I know the big picture, but the nitty-gritty, I don't know how to do anymore. But yet, you can coach them and advise them what to do. That's why they still come to you. Okay? And then, of course, at the same time, you have time to then, focus on things like I say. Analyze your numbers. Look at your own growth drivers. Plan more strategic. Plan the vision of the company. Think about other things. If not, like I remember I said, I believe a lot of you are firefighting every day. So basically, all those tasks is firefighting. You react to what you need to do, not what you want to do. So as you do this, I guarantee you, this changed my life since February 2000. This year, February, never felt happier being in business. Okay, so that's why I always talk about it. Okay. The last part. So this all ties back to one part called obsolete yourself. Okay, I think a lot of some business owners, they always get, I must be the best in the company. I must know everything. For me right now, my thing is, I don't know anything better. I delegate. You all learn best. You become a specialist. Okay? My key role is to gel everyone together. My key role is to know the big picture, how we all generate profits, revenue. My key role is to advise and coach people. Okay? Meaning that all the nitty-gritty, I don't know, I'm obsolete already. If you need me to function as one of my team members, I will perform worse than that. That's what I mean by obsolete yourself. So of course, all this takes time. If you're now starting out with a small team, you can't do this yet, right? First, you need to focus on sales, generate your first million, do your team bigger, do the systemization later on. Or in fact, don't even worry about systemization. Just work on the revenue multipliers. Jack up your sales first. Okay? There is a time and place depending on where you are in your business phase. You're going to do now I have a team of 4 people, then you try to obsolete yourself now. Then it's a small team, it's not, the growth potential is lower. You want to grow bigger first, then you slowly do all the steps. Make sense? Yeah? Okay, so okay, it's not in the slide, but another thing, like for example, I learned from my mentor is, let them learn themselves. Okay, what do I mean by that? So when we create a product, okay, we have certain processes. Actually, it's very complex. You do this, then a lot of interlink. So I'm sure for some of your business, some things are very complex. Okay, and I know them all in my head. So I will then tell them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. You don't forget. You keep forgetting. I'm not sure whether you experience that. Of course, you will always forget one, right? So I told them, okay, you all need to then start thinking as a group. I got them all together. Think about how we can change all the process step by step, and then we'll set it in the project management system. Okay, when this happens, what must happen? You all must know. Cannot be, in the past it was just me chasing, hey, this one done already, why you not pass to the person? Sometimes they do it well, some people, you see, every employee that you have, some will remember, you have good employees, you have bad employees, some remember well, some don't do well. The whole beauty of having a system is to try to allow mediocre team members to still function at a high level. Okay, you will try to recruit superstars, and I still try to recruit superstars, but you can't get superstars all the time, right? You will get people who are just okay, but with the system, the processes, they can all perform well, So I got them all to go and think about it, okay, to try to process out everything, and that's where, even for myself, I had to fight. I had to hold back. What do you mean? In a sense, you're the business owner, you see almost everything. You know that this one got problem here, you miss this out. You have this tendency, hey, you're playing this, why you never think of this, never think of that, this. You cannot do that. Okay? Why? Because once you do that, they won't learn. It's basically like, the boss tell me like that, best, they won't process it and think about logic. Some might not. Okay? What you want them is to they plan it all out already. Then you, for me, I said, okay, let's now have a trial run. Okay, if this happens, and then they play out all the scenarios. Hey, how come it doesn't work? Ask them, because they know what they say. Hey, why? I said, I don't know, because it's very hard. You need to let them learn themselves. You can guide them, but you need to let them solve it. Once they solve the problem themselves, they own it. They feel responsible for it. They feel proud about it. And then over time, they like problem solving. Okay? So this is something I learned because I really had a panic back because it's like, really, I don't want this one sure cannot make it one. You're just going to show me this. But I needed them to really go through it, face the problems. Other people tell them, hey, this doesn't work. Cannot be I tell them. You cannot tell them. I believe some other people book it out like a false example and see how it doesn't go through. That was for us, our process. So now over that, they came up with a process management system on how we run some of our products, how we develop them, and then for us we use, I'm sure some of you use project management systems. For us we use something called WRIKE, W-R-I-K-E. Okay, there are so many. There's like workflow, asanas, so many different kinds online. And I went to try all of them because in the past when we had one, we didn't really use it properly. And to be honest, even I didn't use it properly. Like I wouldn't update and all that. So right now, if you actually found one, depending on your business, you need to test it out. Have a trial run with a few team members, see, implement it, set up the rules to use it. And now, when we use this project management system, I also cannot, so happy. Everything is so much more smooth. There's less mess. And I need all this, especially, and you need it too, if you want to scale the business. Why? Multiply your revenues by 10-fold, by 100-fold. Can your current system, can your current rules and protocols sustain at that higher level? Most of us, it's like band-aid one, like that one. Like this one, you must remember, people remember. Like maybe you're this key person who's a superstar who blends everything together. But when the business increases 10 times, this person already. So you cannot have that. If you want to scale businesses, you need really all these systems. We all know it in our heart. They are also important, but we do not implement them. And I understand. I didn't implement them for so many years until this year. Okay? So I would urge you to really implement it. It will change your life. You will come back and congratulate me. You will come and thank me and then treat me in a meal. I'm very sure of that because that was really, the reason I want to share it because I feel that a lot of us are so tied to our business. We get so stressed sometimes. And I do understand, maybe sometimes your business is not so profitable or that's a different problem. Okay, that's not, but if your business is profitable there and you're feeling stressed, these are the things that will change your life. Okay, just remember, top 3 things that you need to do every day, taking up a lot of time. Tackle them one by one. Doesn't matter that it takes 3 months to slowly tackle it. Once you tackle it, you really get back 1, 2, 3 hours of your life back every single day. Okay? As long as you do not do that, you will be always tied to your business. In the event that, knock on wood, something happens to you, the whole business will crumble. Or maybe some of you have partners, so still a partner, a strong partner can still. For me, my partner was a sleeping partner. He's now the CEO of his other company. So I have nobody with me. So I have to then decentralize power like that. Okay? And now the holidays that I go for are much really considered holidays because I can really, I remember I was in Taiwan in March and only internet is fun. Last time you always scared. Wow, lose money, do this, do that. Now they decentralize, they know what to do. Yes, there will be errors, they will make mistakes and you lose some money here and there, but that's fine. Because in the grand scheme of things, they might maybe in a month do some errors that lose you an extra $5,000. But because your time is freed up, you are growing the business in so many other ways strategically, that $5,000 is minuscule. And to be honest, they will always make mistakes. You cannot do everything in business, right? You know that. Okay. So let's do a quick recap, okay, of everything I went through today. Okay. The first thing is the law of focus. If you have multiple businesses, I would urge you to really consider, are they really all performing really well? Are they all really growing? Or are you just living under the guise of, it's cool, it's great to be a serial entrepreneur. I think there are a lot of people that like to call serial entrepreneurs. I don't know, I like to have more money. So, or just having one business that grows bigger and bigger. Okay? So, whatever you focus on expands. Remember, look at your numbers all the time. Okay? Oh, yeah, just to share. I made this mistake. So I started focusing on the sales. That's great for a certain level. You know what I didn't focus on? expenses. I thought I was invincible, just choke. Everybody said I'm good, I'm good now. Bullshit. You don't look at your expenses, don't look at P&L properly. There are certain months we overextended. You know, regardless, we generate more than $500,000 of revenue every single month. Doesn't matter, right? There are some months you just expand faster than you can. You never calculate, never touch it properly. Die. Bad months, everything hits simultaneously. I'm sure some of you know that. Sometimes all the shit can happen one month. And how? Jialat, right? So right now, of course, because of that, in the past, I only had one finance person. Now I have three. I have one senior accountant, two junior accountants. They're all tracking my numbers. And I say, I asked them, what's your main focus? The main focus is managerial accounting, P&L every month, making sure cash flow is all, everything is fine. Okay, and then you're reporting to me if there's any kind of errors or any kind of like weird numbers coming up. You must tell me immediately. Okay, and of course you still check out because you want in case they miss it. But that's something that I focus on right now also expenses because I screwed up quite badly. Like revenue is what they call it. Revenue is vanity. Profit is sanity, right? So you have to focus on your profit. Okay, so focus, the law of focus, and then after that I talk about revenue multipliers. So remember, split testing. Quickly just implement. I'm sure, I guarantee you can do it in any of your business. Find a way to do it by this week.